Hello, and welcome to the next episode of Thoughts From. We're on series 2 of the Thoughts From podcast, and in this series we will talk to colleagues from across our business, in different roles and within different trading operations, to find out a little bit about them and their role, to explore how they've developed their career and what's important to them, and also to explore the idea of what they expect from leaders in our business. What do leaders do that help them to develop and to be the best they can be? So I hope you enjoy this one. Hello, and welcome to the next episode in our Thoughts From series, where we talk to some of our colleagues across the business to find out a little bit how they're developing and have developed their career, and what advice they've got for others. So I'm really pleased today to be joined by Sian Edwards, Senior Nursery Manager at our Burton Nursery, to talk to us a little bit about her career at Midcounties. So Sian, tell us a bit about your current role at Midcounties, and then a bit about yourself outside of Midcounties too.
Hi everybody, I'm Sian. So I've been at the nursery since 2007. I started as an unqualified bank staff member and started working with a child with additional needs. Slowly worked my way up into different roles into what I'm doing now. So at the minute I predominantly manage Burton Nursery, but I also support within the area, so support the area manager to help with all aspects really, finance, quality and so on. I am a single mum to a 7-year-old little girl who is very much a mini-me, so keeps me on my toes. Lots of creative things. We like to do lots of day outings together, lots of messy play things, so I really do bring the practitioner home. So I kind of make a rod for my own back.
Definitely, yeah. And those messy play, I also have a little toddler, and the idea in my head of messy play versus the reality when you're in it can be sometimes quite different, can't it?
Yes, especially when you bring up a very independent child because they want to do everything themselves, but it's all learning. That's what I keep telling myself, it's all learning.
Exactly that, exactly. Brilliant, thank you very much. So was going to ask you a little bit about, so you briefly said there about starting in 2007 and then moving your way up. So what are some of those roles, when you say you've moved your way up, what were some of those roles that you've taken in our nurseries that have got you to this point?
So every role you can have in a nursery. So I was bank staff on a 0-hour contract and worked with a child with additional needs. So straight away working with external agencies, with the nursery Senko, obviously a great partnership with parents, which is like imperative in all of our roles. And then from that, I started my qualification, and I secured a position as a level 3 practitioner. And then about a year or so later, I became a room manager of our preschool room. So preschool's really been the only room I've been based in. So I've never been based in a baby room or the toddler room. So it's always been my security, preschool has been. And then a position came available for a third in charge role. So I know not all nurseries have them, but way back then, that was what we had. So I supported the management side. So I got to understand a bit about budgets and overseeing the whole nursery. So having those additional responsibilities of like opening and closing the nursery, checking ratios, covering absences. And then at the time, our manager then was successful as an area manager. So I became a deputy. And I was only in the role for less than 18 months. And then the manager at the time moved away. So then I had to become the manager. So I was only acting up for a period. And Ofsted knocked on the door within 6 weeks with it being a manager. So wow. It was quite daunting. But, I just feel like if you get thrown to the deep end, I think that's when we learn at our best. And I had all the foundations around me for me to continue to strive to be the best and to be the best that we can be as a team. And then it was when the cooperative brought a group of nurseries called First Steps. That's when I then became a senior nursery manager and started supporting the onboarding of those nurseries and introducing the cooperative policies, the cooperative practices, the values. And then I've been a senior manager ever since.
Brilliant. Wow. Yeah, amazing. And obviously some real moments of growth, and then I guess pressure as well in those moments of, as you just said, 6 weeks into being a nursery manager and Ofsted knocking at the door. I wonder, have you always wanted a career in childcare? Is that sort of where you saw yourself, or have you just loved what you've been doing and then grown in the different roles you've been able to do?
A little bit of both. So my dream job growing up was a child psychologist. So it's always been child orientated, and I've got a long line of family that have got careers in childcare. So it's always been an aspiration to work with children. But did I ever see myself being a manager? No. But did I look up to my managers and my co-workers, and I wanted to be as inspirational as they were. So it was more about the growth in what I was doing, more than I didn't set my target to be that in that role, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think lots of people listening will sort of connect with that as well, because sometimes it's just saying yes to opportunities that present themselves. And as you say, looking up to those people who you've been managed by, or people in those different roles, and thinking, okay, so if I could, as you said there, like inspire people like they do, then maybe that is a role that I could enjoy, and a bit leaping into the deep end at times and going, I'll give it a go. But yeah, that's really fascinating. And would you say then, just going back to that point about sort of moving quite quickly through from deputy manager to manager, etc., do you think you thrive under pressure? Is that something you enjoy? Or because it sounds like you put yourselves in positions where you've added and heaped the pressure on at times.
Yes, and I punish myself. So I'm quite impulsive in decision making in sense of my career. So I do strive while under pressure, because it's that sense of achievement, sense of empowerment, sense of like inspiring others, and I thrive off having impact more than anything else. So the career goals has never been, it's not just about my self-development, it's about having impact, which is, I like to see that I've made changes, or I've influenced people, or influenced policies, or that's what I like.
Amazing. Yeah, definitely. Really interesting. And have you always been ambitious then? And you said about impact there, but have you always been looking for those next steps, or is it just that opportunities have presented themselves and you've leapt on them?
It's kind of both. So my confidence is shaped within the organisation through the different roles and working with different people. So what I remember having a conversation with somebody a few years ago about talking about my deputy and manager back then, and how I sat them on pedestals. And someone once said to me, like, they're their pedestals, like you need to create your own. So I thought, yeah, like I want to sit alongside them. I don't want to sit on their pedestal, because I'm a different person. I've got different characteristics. I've got different strengths. I've got different weaknesses. So I've always been ambitious in that sense, but it's taking the opportunities that come about. And I feel like, once you've got an interest in something and you're keen to have that self-development, it's really crucial to take the opportunities. So I've at the beginning of the year, I don't know why,